Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the topic unequitable distribution of income, that is commonly known as income inequality with you. As we all know that Indian economy is one of the largest economies in the world, and last year it became the fourth largest economy with a GDP of approximately $4.4 trillion. However, an important fact is often overlooked, that is the per capita GDP of India is still very low. Economists consider per capita GDP as it helps in reflecting an accurate income. This raises an important question. If the GDP of the Indian economy is rising rapidly, then why is per capita GDP still very low? The explanation for this paradox is unequitable distribution for income. As per reports, top 1% of the Indians hold 40% of the wealth, while bottom half of the population still owns only a small share. Reports also indicate that inequality has risen significantly over the past few decades. The reasons behind the same are as follows. The first reason is a large informal sector. As per the estimates by the International Labour Organization, approximately 80 to 90 of India's workforce is employed in the informal sector. Workers in these jobs usually earn low wages, and there is a low level of social security in these kind of jobs. The second reason is unequal access to education and skills. Data from National Statistical Office shows that workers with higher education earn significantly more than workers with low education and lower level of skills. The third reason is regional disparities. As per the data obtained from RBI, the per capita income in richer states such as Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu is higher than in comparison to poorer states. Uneven regional development creates gap. Now I would like to discuss the implications of inequality. The first one is slowdown of long-term economic growth. When a large share of population is poor or lies below the poverty, then it leads to a fall in the purchasing power of the people, therefore reducing the overall consumption in the economy and weakening the economy. And the second is social dissatisfaction due to people perception. There are some measures that can be taken to overcome these problems. The first is progressive tax reform and wealth distribution. Progressive taxation means that people within the higher income groups pay a higher amount of tax than in comparison to people with lower income group. Tax system in India has become less progressive over the past few years, especially due to the reduction in corporate tax rates and reliance on indirect taxes such as GST, which significantly affect lower income households more. The policy reforms that can be taken in the field of taxation are: first, moderate wealth and inheritance taxation; second is expanding direct tax base; third is reducing reliance on regressive taxation; and fourth is improving tax compliance through digital transformation. Institutions like IMF have repeatedly suggested that developing economies can reduce inequality by redistributive fiscal policies. The timeline for progressive tax reforms and redistributive wealth can be as follows. The first is short-term timeline, that is for a period of 1 to 2 years, in which tax compliance can be improved through digital monitoring and data integration. The second is expanding tax base by reducing exemptions. Medium-term reforms, that is for a period of 3 to 5 years, can introducing inheritance on wealth taxes targeted at HNIs, and long-term reforms, that is for a period of 5 to 10 years, can gradually reforming tax system towards higher direct tax and lower regressive indirect taxes. The next measure is formalization of labor market. Firms can be incentivized to formalize employment through payroll tax credits, mandatory digital wage payment, expanding employee social security coverage, and enforcing new labor codes. Human capital investment in the form of skill development will also play a very important role. Vocational education and industrial training institutes can be set up. Public school infrastructure can be developed, that is, the teachers should be trained. In the field of education in the short term, that is for a period of 1 to 3 years, vocational training programs can be expanded in high employment sectors such as manufacturing, logistics, services, etc. In the medium term, that is for a period of 4 to 7 years, we can improve quality and accessibility of public sector services. And in long term, that is for a period of 8 to 15 years, we can achieve higher productivity through a more skilled workforce. However, there will be some barriers in implementing these measures. The very first barrier is resource shortage. If we take a look at historical context, income inequality in India has evolved over several decades. In the early decades after independence, India followed a state-led development policy with strong redistributive actions including land reforms and public sector expansion. However, the economic growth is still slow. A major turning point occurred with economic reforms of 1991, in which productivity and investment increased, also contributing to rising income, disparities between skilled and unskilled workers, urban and rural regions, etc. Thank you.